Hey, but good morning, everybody. Hope everyone's enjoying. Got a beautiful weekend here in Mississippi, and I tell you, one of the most incredible things to me about Zoom, and just thinking about what we have to build with now versus back in the day. It's just a night and day. Everything from credibility to, like here, you can be all over the place. You can bring people into different areas, but hope everybody's enjoying the last weekend of this month. Hard to believe next week is February. Speaking of that, we'll be closing out the company extended. We had a FAC Field Advisory Council call yesterday, and so they're extending the month to midnight on February 1st, which will be Tuesday at midnight Eastern time. So anyway, hopefully everyone's making a push to do all you can do between now and then on your business. We're having the company's having a great month. The hierarchy's having a good month. And what they're doing too is comparing January of 19 before all the craziness started with the pandemic and all that. And what's exciting is that we're growing, right? Over that time period, really, and just about I think every area of the business. But anyway, it's exciting there. And I know we've got in February, we've got the Marco Island trip, the Run for the Sun trip. And I was looking at some of those numbers in the hierarchy. I mean, we've got a lot of people that qualified for that. It's going to be, I believe our phase is February 7th through the 10th. I know we're over 40 couples going to that. Jill and I actually will not be there. And I hate that. Mike and Amy are going, so they will be there. Jill and I are going to, we won the Hawaii trip. So we're going to be going to the Hawaii, the Maui trip in March. So anyway, they separated the trips there. So anyway, but it is what it is. But we're excited for our team to be at Marco Island. That's one of the things Glenn was talking about. The agenda is going to be strong. Of course, the company will have all the protocol, the safety measures in place there. So that's going to be great. And of course, now we've got the Broadmoor trip going right now, and that's going to be for a combination of investment and all the areas of diversification in the business. So hopefully that goes to what May. It goes into May, I believe. So anyway, hopefully, and that's probably one of the best trips the company's ever had out in Colorado Springs. So that's going to be an incredible trip to be able to go for that. Also, of course, the company has got our $49 IBA through the end of January, so that's good. And one of the things that I just wanted to mention real quick, I talked about this last week. Years ago, we did an event called an expansion seminar, and Jill and I did, and we had different speakers that came in for that. We did it in Atlanta. And so anyway, several months ago, we started thinking about doing one of those. We wanted to limit that to like 80 slots because we didn't want it to get too big. But anyway, so it's pretty much full. If we could go over a little bit, maybe 5 slots or whatever. But any of you that would like to do that, whatever, you can contact me. We'll have a definite head count this week, but last time I checked, I think we're 89, but we might have some that fall out there at the last minute, because life happens. Last week, I think we talked about Murphy's Law. Everything can go wrong, will go wrong. But anyway, I am so excited about this agenda. I got up early this morning. We're working on that, and man, it's going to be powerful. We got Mike and Amy Landrum. We got Jared and Kim Nelson. We got everything from Doc Cooper coming in to the Jim Hass, et cetera. But if you want to be part of that, I really look at this as something that's going to really prepare people for RVP, Regional Vice President, to be that head coach. It's going to really be focused on the building side of the business. And so, as a matter of fact, Jill and I earlier this week, we went down to the Grand Hotel, Point Claire, Alabama, which is where the company had really the first company convention was at the Grand Hotel. It's a Marriott, the autograph collection hotel. They've done an incredible job as far as just continuing to get better and better at that resort. And so anyway, Jill and I went down for a couple of days and just to kind of work on next weekend. And I think really what I want to do is going forward, we're going to look at maybe every January taking a new group of future RVPs, maybe down to the Grand Hotel. Let that be our spot that we all kind of meet up and kind of coach that group to the RVP position. So we're looking at doing the first one there would be next January. So anyway, we're going to see how this one goes. We're going to follow up with this group that's coming in. So that's going to be great, great agenda. So we're excited about that. We will be trying to record some of that. We may be able to post some of that, just different segments that we're having or whatever. I don't want to make any commitments there we can't deliver on. So anyway, we'll talk more about that later. But Lloyd, are you here? Right? Maybe you can unmute and let me know if you're.
I'm here, buddy.
There you go. Okay, I see you looking. You're looking to the side. Are you gonna look at the camera?
I am. I'm trying to get something real quick. I had a client just send me something. So okay.
Okay. Hey, so Lloyd, Lloyd Heckard, Lloyd and Danielle, man, just an incredible couple, and man, we just love and appreciate them. Matter of fact, Lloyd, from New Orleans area, and played baseball in college, and just came to work with Jim Hass, and maybe he can allude a little more detail on his story. But anyway, Lloyd, he's always just taken ownership of his business, and now he and Danielle, of course, they live in the Houston area, and just incredible people. As a matter of fact, a couple of years ago, I was telling Jill, I'd tell the story briefly again, but several years ago, Jill and I were going down to the Ritz-Carlton in New Orleans, and it was on a weekend. I walk in the lobby, and there's Lloyd Heckard, right? And he's there with a wedding party, and he's the best man in the wedding. And so he introduces Jill and I to the groom. So we didn't know anybody there. And so Lloyd says, David, you and Jill have got to come to this wedding. And he got the groom in on it. And so we had no dress. I had a sport coat, a blue sport coat and blue jeans, right? And maybe a dress shirt. And so we weren't prepared, but man, we ended up doing the whole deal. And I think I ended up dancing with the grandmother that night. But man, just Lloyd, just truly him and Danielle, their family, just like the whole Hass team down in the Big Easy. But Lloyd, if you think about it, now here you are fixing to get your fourth diamond, over 400K in income, a goal of $500,000 in income this year. And, there's certain things, you and I talked briefly about, having a recruiting mindset, but then, you end up developing clients as you go and all that. And so what I thought we'd do is maybe, Lloyd, if you could take 30 minutes and kind of go through whatever you want to talk about, but then I'd like to get to some questions that people might have for you too. And so maybe you can put them, y'all can put them on chat or whatever. And then we'll do some Q&A, but we'll be through. This will be last a little less than an hour. So Lloyd, I appreciate you, buddy. Proud of you. And I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Thank you, Dave. Can everyone hear me? Thumbs up if you can hear me, right? Okay. So Dave, I'll be able to share my screen and everything, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
Co-host.
Okay. So yeah, Dave called me the other day. He goes, "Where are you?" I said, I'm in the middle of an Invesco meeting here in Houston, and we had some of the big heavy hitters in the company were there. Omar was there, a bunch of big time Invesco guys were there, and he's like, "Well, hey, I'd like for you to address the team on Saturday morning." I said, "I'd love to do that, man." And so we talked about where I am in my business, what we're looking to accomplish, and how we might be able to bring some value to everyone today. But I kind of want to start it out like with how Dave said a little bit about your story. But I actually got recruited when I was in college, and so the guy recruits me out of a Cat's Meow on Bourbon Street, right? And I get started, and sure enough, he quits after about 2 months of me getting started, right? So I end up being with Jim. Well, fast forward 24 years, okay? We went ahead and took this serious. We went ahead and took this business seriously, okay? I paid $199 to get in this business. I paid almost $500 to get my investment license. However, I took this business as serious as if I paid $500,000 for the company at 23, 24 years old. Okay. Now let's fast forward 24 years. Like I said, my wife, her best friend's husband had a birthday, his 50th birthday. And I showed up there, and sure enough, I hadn't seen this guy in about 20 years. He's the guy that recruited me. And it was almost upsetting when we started talking about our lives. Okay. His life has just been financially in a financial, disarray. Okay. Which that leads to other issues in life. Wouldn't y'all agree? Okay. My life, our life hadn't been all that. I mean, it hadn't been perfect, right? However, Primerica has given the opportunity to own a business, grow a business, and develop millions of dollars in wealth. So one person offers me the opportunity, he quits, I get the opportunity, and I keep doing it. For many years, ladies and gentlemen, I was like, is anything ever going to happen? Is anything ever going to happen? They're selling me the dream. Is anything ever going to happen? Well, it will happen if you make it happen. Meaning you got to put the blinders on. You got to stay focused on some fundamentals that we're going to talk about today. Okay. And, a lot of people, they look at where we're at and they say, well, Lloyd, you only do a lot of investments. Well, 95% of my investments came from recruiting a person and then going to their natural warm market and training them and making sales, trying to build a business. And if they wasn't interested in recruiting, then they became a client a large majority of the time. And I venture to say that the majority of people here on this Zoom, unless you're an RVP, the people you don't recruit, majority of them don't become clients. That's why you're not an RVP. Okay. You got to ask people to become clients. You've got to ask people to get involved in this business with you. Okay. And you have got to become really good at becoming a professional friend maker. That's it. People ask me, what kind of business are we in? I'm in the friend making business. Okay. And if people become recruits or become clients, great. If they don't, then miss with a friend. Okay. I mean, Just have your heart in the right place, like Dave always talks about, and you'll always end up on your feet. Okay, things will get better. Things will be great for you. But just make friends, okay, and love people and do the right thing for people. Okay, so let's talk about some things, that what we do. Okay, so when I first moved to Houston, Texas, I didn't know anyone. Okay. And if you're on this Zoom right now training and you're not an RVP making a 6-figure income, what you need to do right now, or even if you are, if you want to get your business rolling, you need to put your mindset as if you don't know anyone and you're running for a political office. If you got to look at it that way, you got to kiss babies and you got to shake some hands. You got to prospect people. Okay. And if you want to get this thing off the ground fast, you better prospect 5 to 10 a day, whether it be through people, initial contacts of people. I just don't know how to say it. I just don't know how to, tell you how to build a business without inventory. Okay. How would it be if Walmart stopped having supply centers that brought product to each individual store? Then they would go out of business. Wouldn't y'all agree? Well, what is our supply chain? What is our inventory? Well, it's names on a list. It's how do we acquire that? We ask a bunch of doggone people. That's the only way to do it. That's the only way to do it. I don't know, Dave, do you know any other way to do it? I don't know of any other way to do it. But here's the beautiful thing about that. My $199 wasn't $499,000 to buy a business. It was only $199 when I got started. And then I just had to treat it as if I paid $500,000 for it. And that the $4,000 a month monthly payment was coming due at the end of next month. Okay. And that's how I always treated my business. So I passed my life exam. I walked in the office because that wasn't easy. I took it like 2 or 3 times. I think it was 3 times. Okay. I mean, no test has ever been easy. Okay. It's a struggle. Everything in this business I've ever done has basically been a struggle. But am I going to struggle in Primerica and then end up having ownership in a great life? Or am I going to struggle in a company by building somebody else's goals and dreams for them and struggle with making 60, 70, 80, 100 grand a year, and that's all I'm going to make? However, my efforts make the owner $500,000 to 2 or 3 million a year, but I only make 60 to 100. Am I going to struggle with that, or am I going to struggle with what I know in Primerica? I have to just make a decision to do. And my life changed when I made a decision to just do it. And I made a decision. We had a why. Okay. Dave always talks about what's your why. Okay. Well, I didn't really know what my why was until I got married and I had a kid and I had to provide for a child, because before it was just me. Now it's a wife, a child, a lifestyle, a future, right? So you got to figure out your why. Okay. And, if you don't have one, your upline can help you figure out one. But if you don't have one, it's going to be very difficult to do anything in life, guys, anything. Okay. Next thing I would do is I would write down the top 10 things that you want out of life. Okay. You need to do that. And you need to look at them all the time. Okay. Like one of my goals is that I want to get to $100 million in managed accounts. Well, prior to the pullback in the market, we were almost 50. We were 48, we were 49 million. Now we're like 44 million, but we'll be back at 50 million plus. So what I said was, how am I going to get there? Well, I'm not going to get there in the time frame that I want to get there. by simply just dealing with middle income families. Okay. However, do I need to deal with middle income families? Absolutely. I'm still going to do that. Okay. But what did I talk about? I started talking to people about, I need you to, I need 25 NFL professional athletes with 5 million or more invested with me. And that's how I'm going to get there. So guess what? I started talking about that to people. And you know what? I've already had 2 NFL agents that I've done appointments with. Actually, one I've done an appointment with, another one I've got contact with. We're trying to develop, some business together. Okay. I've met with some guys that are going to go in the draft this year. So my point is, unless you start talking about it to other people, how are you going to bring it into your life? Some other people introduced me to those people. I didn't know them. Does that make sense? But guess what? It all stems back to an appointment that I had 21 years ago. I was in a small apartment in Algiers, in New Orleans, Louisiana, in Algiers. And it was an African-American gentleman, and he's a football coach, right? And he looked at me, he told me, he said, Lloyd, I'm going places. Kind of like what Primericans do. If you're not looking at people saying, I'm going places, you're not going places. He told me, I'm going places. I'm not just going to be a college coach for the rest. I'm not going to be a high school coach for the rest of my life. I'm going to get in college and we're going places. Well, that gentleman has gone to Louisiana Tech, ULL, LSU, and now he's at another prominent SEC university. Okay. But we're good friends, but I provide him a great service, and he introduces me to a bunch of people. He gives me referrals. Matter of fact, one of his best friends called me 3 months ago, and I was in New Orleans. He lives in New Orleans. I sat down with him. I said, so tell me a little bit about yourself. He goes, well, I have this company, does this. Matter of fact, I'm about to sell it for $1,750,000. And he was very proud of that. And I looked at him and I started asking him questions. And I looked at him, I said his name. I said, your business isn't worth $1,750,000. It's worth like 5 or a little bit more. He goes, you think so? I said, I know so. Well, how did I know that? Because I'm a professional. Okay. I understand ownership. I understand what things are worth. I practice my craft. I get better. Okay. I try to read things. I try to listen to financial stuff. I try to become valuable so I can give value to others. Dave, that guy's closing on his business next month for $5.4 million. He went from $1,750,000 to $5.4 million. Okay. I don't know if it was just because I was telling that it was worth more. Matter of fact, I told him, I know nothing about his business, but I would give him $1,750,000 for it right now. Because then I would have taken somebody, paid him $150,000 to run it, and we would have made, Danielle and I, we'd have made 400-something thousand a year. I'd have had my money back in 4 years, 4.5 years. Okay, that's a good business. Does that make sense, everyone? So here's my point. I gave him value. So we had lunch the other day, and he said, Lloyd, he goes, when this thing closes, I think I want to invest, $2 million with you. So naturally, I did the math. I said, well, how much are you going to pay in taxes? About $1.3 million, almost $1.4 million. So I said, well, where's the other $1 million going to go? He goes, well, I'm going to do some stuff with it in real estate. I said, okay. So I said, well, listen, this is what I recommend we do. We take that $3 million, you let me invest it for you. Okay. And I put it in managed accounts, and then we're going to put a collateralized line of credit against it at a really cheap interest rate. And then you can do your real estate business through that while your other asset grows. It's diversified, it grows, but you're still able to do a bunch of different things, but you never really touch the goose that provides the golden egg. Okay. And he's like, wow. And if anybody needs to know a little bit about that, you can contact me. I can go into that. It's a little bit more complex. But what I'm getting across to you guys is this. Primerica has given each and every one of us the tools to compete with the Merrill Lynch, the JP Morgan Chase Wealth Management. Okay. There's nobody that I can't walk into that house with now and compete with and win business. I don't care if it's $25 a month or $100 million net worth. We have it, guys. This company is providing it for you, whether or not you want to take the time to learn it and get good at it. Okay. To where you can provide value to others. I don't know. That's up to you. That's a decision that you're going to have to make. But Primerica's providing it for you. Okay. So let's talk about some things that we do and how we do it. Okay. So we talked about being in a position where we're always trying to recruit or prospect to get the recruit and miss with the sale, or just however we're going to do it, right? Okay. So, and I'm not going to go through this, word for word, but I'm going to talk about a presentation, and I can send this to Dave. Okay. And he could get it out if y'all want it. But actually, Kelly Case, who's we share an office, and a guy, Harold Rawls, and Harold's done some stuff for Dave in the past. I think he's talked on a Saturday morning and some other stuff. They put this together. It wasn't me. I'm giving them credit. So I have to give them credit 2 more times, and then in Primerica fashion, it becomes mine. Okay. That's a good joke. Okay. So here we go. But they put this stuff together. So what it is it's basically a presentation that you can use the whole thing. You can use bits and pieces of it, but it's a one resource that has everything. Okay. Now we have the Mike Landrum presentation, Die Too Soon, Live Too Long. Great presentation. Very to the point, and it's designed to, get you a recruit, get you a term life sale, get you a mutual fund from a family, right? Okay. So I think you should do that one if you're trading someone, or if it's the right market. But you have to have tools and resources available to get that client or to get other clients. Okay. So that might have maybe a little bit higher net worth, or that need a little bit more than just that terminology. Okay. So here is a resource that has everything in it. Okay. So basically talks a little bit about the company, and we've seen all these pages already. Okay. But a lot of cases you might need 3 or 4 brochures to go to, right? So talks about the company, talks about the ways to use income. How to make income, 5 reasons why people get involved, our mission. Okay. A little bit more about credibility, the companies we do business with, right? Okay. The F&A, you could, the rule of 72. This has everything in it. The ABCs of investing, you can touch on, the 3 fundamental accounts. Okay. What is a mutual fund? Okay. Dollar cost averaging. So basically you can recognize what you want to deliver, and you can find it anywhere in here. Dollar cost averaging. Okay. High cost of waiting, cash value life insurance, buy term and invest the difference, theory of decreasing responsibility. Okay. Example of what you did for a client, how we do help clients. And some of this is some of the older brochures that we felt, or they felt, were better, that they wanted to keep. Okay. District leader compensation, RVP compensation, SVP compensation, even has the real estate model that you can pull from. You with me? Okay. How a broker, charges 6%, they make 3%. You see what I'm saying? The agent makes 3, the other agent makes 3. Okay. But they get the override. Okay. Some of the bonus programs that we have when you're recruiting. Okay. What's going on right now, the $50, $49 IBA, field training bonus. It talks about that. Now you're naturally not going to go through every slide, I don't believe, and throw up on someone. Okay. I believe that the quicker, the shorter, the better, because we're working with people that have an attention span that's about this much. You with me? Okay. And quite honestly, I hate to let you guys in on this. Well, I need to let you in on it because here's the simple fact. People pretty much know if they're going to do business with you within the first 3 to 5 minutes, maybe even less than that. You with me? Okay. So I would be in a position where I always kind of smell good, look good. My breath might be good. If you follow me, I might want to look good. Y'all with me here? Y'all understand that, right? Okay. So always give yourself the greatest opportunity for success, especially if you're trying to build a business. Okay. So that's a little bit about the presentation or where you can draw from. Okay.
Hey, Lloyd. Hey, Lloyd.
Yes, sir.
I'm just sitting here listening to what you're doing. First of all, I think this is great because it's blocking and tackling. You got the fundamentals, but just a few things that I wanted to throw out. And then we're starting to get a couple of questions. But first of all, the first thing you talked about, being an entrepreneur, having that mindset, looking at your business as if it is valuable, right? And your determination that, hey, look, I'm going to go out and I'm going to go provide for my family. You became focused, you became committed. Like Art always told us, first step to greatness is total commitment. Go ahead.
Let me tell you something. When I first got involved, I want to get across the feeling that I had when I did the IBA and then Jim walked me around the office. I can still feel it. And there was a table, not a desk, a fold out table. And he goes, you can sit right there and start working. Y'all know what I did, guys, ladies and gentlemen? I went to Office Depot. I grabbed me a file cabinet. I got me a Rolodex where I could, because the life insurance cards, you could put in that deal right there. Do you know 24 years later, I still have that file cabinet. I still have that Rolodex card deal. Okay. Because it almost brings tears to my eyes that I felt I treated it ownership right there. Y'all with me? I went and got me a chair. Okay. I was so proud. I was like, this is my chance.
Wow.
Hey,
the thing about it is, like you talked about your why, your top 10 things you want out of life. I think people totally, we just kind of glaze over that. It just kind of goes right over the top of their head. But that, how in the hell how do you teach that? That's the same way I felt. I could still picture Jim Hass walking you through that office. Of course, I wasn't there, but I do remember walking Jim Hass through my office and had this little metal desk. And I said, Jim, look, you come here and camp out, man, you can sit right here. This could be your desk. And then all of a sudden, Jim started showing up, right? And he took ownership, like what you're talking about. But anyway, and the other thing, talk about where you're going. When you started talking about where you're, like the coach that said, hey, here, I'm heading somewhere. And you got to talk about where you're going. Becoming a copy worth duplicating is what I put down, just like you've got your system. And I know we're going to get into that, but becoming that copy worth duplicating. That's one of the things. Like next weekend, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on sales fundamentals or whatever. You got to go with the way you become a copy worth duplicating is this right here. you sit down, you sit on this Zoom, you listen, you pick up 5 or 6 things from Lloyd, and then you go out and use it and internalize it. That's the only way you're gonna become a copy. We're duplicating, and you find out what works for you, right? And make the presentation yours. And I love this, Lloyd, the presentation here. And like you said, you could go through all of that with somebody, depends on how hungry they are.
Right.
But you don't, you pick and choose, and then you get out there and use it 100 times, right? And make it happen. But anyway, I love that.
Absolutely. And you know, Dave, you know, I got that desk, I mean, a table, I sat down, I took ownership, man. And you know, after I passed my life exam, I walked into the office and Jim goes, "Hey man, I need you to fill this paperwork out, and I need a check for like $400 or whatever it was, $500. I forgot exactly what it was. And I'm a college guy, just finishing my last semester of college, didn't have a job, living off student loans. You know what I did? I walked my butt to the car, got my checkbook, and I did the paperwork. Now it's like they pay for it. And you're like, I don't even know if I'm gonna get it. I don't even know if I'm gonna get my securities license.
Yeah.
Like, are you freaking kidding me? I'm like, what? I'm like, how can you be, unless you're, and I don't know how to say this without really coming off as being really, you know, terrible, but I got to say it. Unless you're not that confident in who you are, or have not the desire to do more, why wouldn't you get your investment license? That's insane. You know, that's like the most sexiest thing of our business. That gives you so much freaking credibility. Okay, anybody can get a damn insurance license. The freaking whole life people have an insurance license. Those scumbags, they don't have a Series 6, 63, or 65 to change somebody's life, but you do. And most people don't get it. Why you say most people? Well, we have 130,000 agents and 26,000 securities agents. That's how I know most people don't get it.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you have your investment license, if you have your insurance license and you're one-legged, let me get in your heart here. And let's have a paradigm shift in thinking, and let's go change your life, your family tree. Let's go change other people's life by getting them that $50, $100, $200 mutual fund. Let's take that step. Fill out that paperwork, get with your upline today, and make a commitment to do it. I want you to be somebody, and it'll help. You'll get so much more confidence. So my first year, we made about 16,000 in life. I got my investment license. We made about 16,000 in investments. What if I would have only been one-legged? Then I would only have made $16,000 like most Primericans do. Instead, we made like 30-something thousand, and we started. Then I could stay in business while I tried to build a business. Okay, and here's the deal: I made like 30-something thousand as a district coming out of college, but I looked across the parking lot, and I saw some friends that I graduated college with in the enterprise training program making 24,000, wearing a shirt and tie, and washing cars at 6:30 in the morning every morning. Y'all with me? So you can't tell me Primerica's not great. It's undoggone believable. It's the greatest company in the world. It's, oh my God, it's made us multimillionaires because we took ownership. Okay. So we get a recruit, we get them started. Here's a little fast start plan of Dave. And then I'm gonna thumb through this. Okay. And then we can answer those questions and we'll be done. Okay. For anybody that might have them. But I just want everyone to have the same doggone, if you don't have passion and desire right now, you got to go sit on a pen or something, like a needle, sit on it and make, ooh, get some gusto, get your blood flowing, man. I mean, get something, right? Okay. So this is part of a fast start planner, one of the ones that we use at our office. So we talked about dream it, plan it, do it. Top 10 personal goals. Do you know that most people here, and I'm gonna end with a couple of my personal goals at the end. Do you know most people in this meeting today, and most people that we recruit, can't even come up with 5 personal goals, much less think about 10. So you got to push them to do that and start thinking a little bit more. Don't let them leave the office without coming up with 10. What do you want out of life? Okay. What do you want out of life, people? Within the first 24 hours, we're going to start out with, some game plans, right? Within the first 24 hours, download the Primerica app, $100, right? After you get your license, training materials, back office. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. My, this doggone thing came right across from me here. Okay. First 24 hours, you coming up with 10 people to get on a webinar. Okay. In the first 7 days, or they throw out a little bonus. If you can get 10 people on a Zoom meeting in the first 7 days, or in the opportunity meeting, they're throwing out a little cash bonus. Okay. But you got to do it in the first 7 days. Why? Because if you get 10 warm bodies at something or on something, life insurance, investments, recruits, something's going to happen. Wouldn't you agree, Dave?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
So recognize it with a little bonus, right? 15 people, 15 one-on-one kitchen tables, or on Zoom. Okay. $500 bonus. What is it? It's the process. Just getting people on the meeting. You don't even need to have the results yet, right? Because we know if we steer people towards activity, results are going to come. Okay. Appointment setting. There's 1,000 scripts on that, right? Things to download.
Hey, Lloyd. Hey, Lloyd. What do you tell people to say in setting an appointment?
Well, we could use this script, or I can use one that I grew up with. Okay, so let's say I know you and Jill, right, Dave? Okay, yeah. And so we've been knowing each other. You ran the health club over there in Laurel, and I was a member there, but we developed a little bit more of a relationship. We were friends, right?
Right.
Okay. I call you up. I said, "Hey, Dave, Lloyd Heckert, how's it going?"
Good. Yeah.
Great, man. How's Jill doing?
She's great. Looks great.
Well, man, listen, I hadn't been in the health club in the past couple of days, man, because actually I got started with a new company and I'm actually growing a business, man. And I'm going through a training period, and part of my training is I have to see so many presentations from my manager. And I was calling to see if you and Jill would do me a favor and be one of them. It takes about 30 minutes. Dave, you would do that for me, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Okay. Would Monday be good or Wednesday be better for you and Jill?
Wednesday would be better.
Would 6 be good or 8?
6.
6. Dave, let me ask you something. I need you and Jill there at 6, but would 6 be the earliest we could get together, or would maybe 5 or 5:30 be okay for you?
I can do 5.
You could do 5?
Yeah.
Man, listen, put this on your calendar, 5 o'clock Wednesday. Now, Dave, man, I appreciate you and Jill, because I need Jill there also. That's not going to be a problem, is it?
No. She gets off the bank at 4:30.
Now, listen, this is extremely important to me, man. My credibility is on the line with my manager, and I definitely need you guys there, okay, at 5 o'clock, because this guy that's training me is extremely good at what he does, and I only get 1 or 2 days a week with him. So, man, unless you're dying or in jail, okay, I mean, you could definitely keep this appointment, right?
That'd be good. We're going to do it in person or Zoom?
Well, what would work best for you? Or in person or over Zoom? What would work?
I think Zoom.
Zoom would work best for you? Okay. Yeah. So no problem. 5 o'clock over Zoom. I'm going to send you the link, the login. You have it. Do you have that downloaded to your computer?
Yeah.
Awesome. Man, Dave, you do not realize how much this is helping me out. I really appreciate it. put it on your schedule. Listen, I'm so busy, man. I know you're busy. Put it on your schedule because I'm not going to call you to remind you, okay? But I have you down Wednesday, 5 o'clock. Okay, so let me now you guys might be thinking, well, Lloyd, man, that was easy, right? I did that 1,000 times, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Now I want you to understand, why did I give him a choice close of 6 and 8? I gave him that choice close because I wanted to narrow it down, right? And then when he said 6, I said, would 5 or 5:30 be okay? He said, yeah. Why? Because I want to take a time period and I want to expand it. So if he would have said 8, I would have said, Dave, listen, if I'm running a little late between 8 and 8:30, is that okay?
Right. You know, hey, Lloyd, you know, that's the thing that, like, I always used to schedule, again, because I talked about it last Saturday, my 555 theory, you know, 5 appointments 3 times a week. And I'd bunch them. I'd say, okay, look, let me ask you, what's the earliest or the latest I could come over? And it's amazing how many people would say, well, hey, man, I teach school. I mean, I get out at 3. I mean, you can come up, we can get together at 4. Or what time what's the latest I could come or get together? And, you know, some people say, well, hey, man, we go to bed at 10 o'clock, whatever. And so I would be able to do a 4 o'clock appointment, a 9 p.m. appointment. And then Jill was wondering, man, what is he doing out at 10 o'clock? But it's because I set I tried to go early or late, and then it was always easy to fill up the 5, 6, 7, you know, and just bunch it all together. And if one runs over, you can move them to next week or whatever.
Absolutely. So I mean, just like what Dave said, man, you definitely want to be in a position where you can create more activity, right? I mean, that's where it's at, right, guys? More activity, because what do we know? It's just simply activity, right? It's simply activity. Hold on one second. I'm sending myself something for my for when I close it out here. Hold on.
Hey, Lloyd, while you're doing that, you know, having that the builder's mindset, love that. The presentation, I love what you talked about. I wrote down, you know, when you talked about the first 3 minutes, you know, you look good, you look your best, smell your best, right? Because, guys, bottom line is, you are the product. We are the product.
It's not Primerica.
Yeah, you're not selling a widget here. You know what I mean? I mean, you're selling yourself. And the other thing is just to be authentic and genuine and just love people, and just say, before you go talk to anybody, just say, Lord, you know, I want to go in and just serve and help. And if I can help or serve somebody, then I just pray you to help this come across the right way. And, you know, I can't tell you how many times that I would say that, you know, just to myself and the Lord before I went to talk to people. And if I could help them in some way with a career or referral or whatever, then you know what I need to do for my family. You know what my top 10 reasons for being here are. And it's really about others. It's not about just me. And anyway, I just think, man, good things are going to happen when you do that. But anyway, you go ahead.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, in most cases, don't even make it always about them. You know, how can how can you help them become better, right? And I mean, that's it, because it'll come back to you tenfold, right? I mean, it always does. Okay, so the download these on your cell phone, computer. Okay, first 30 to 90 days, what you're expecting, how premium works. It's all written up in here. You know, how the bonus system works. Okay, how to get them going. I mean, just a whole bunch of stuff. And I'll get this out to Dave.
Hey, Lane Fournier wants to know, how often do you visit with existing client? Do you always ask or get more referrals?
Well, you know what's funny about that question, Lane, is it seems every time that I call an old client and we ask, you know, for referrals or who can you introduce me to, I get them. Okay. I mean, with you know my business, you're supposed to contact at least once a year, right? Okay, with managed accounts. So I try to do it, you know, at least every 6 months or every quarter to try to get, you know, some type of communication with a larger, you know, amount of my clients. Okay. I mean, because it you know it helps out. You know, I forgot what it was. I reached out to a client the other day, and you know, he's like, "Well, yeah, I give you 100,000. You know, I mean, you get another $100,000 just by picking up the phone and and keeping in touch. You know, people don't leave you because of returns or anything. They leave you because you didn't contact them enough. Okay. And somebody else thinks that they might contact them more and have more of a relationship. You with me? Okay. So 4-minute name game, family, you know, friends, co-workers, associates. Give me first names only for the first minute. Family, boom, throw up on it. Friends, throw up on it. You know, and if they still write after a minute, let them continue to write. Okay. It's just little things to help them build their market. Okay. Promotion guidelines, pipeline theories, okay, new agent scripts, recruiting, okay, how to follow up, okay, how we get paid, compensation on things. You know, you can pass if they're doing it online or getting them booked into a you know, getting them booked into a PFSU. We even do like a little, you know, certification, you know, 12 qualified appointments, married, own a home, have kids. Okay. And then you could come up with some type of reward for getting them certified. And then, but what they can do is they can always talk about, I'm getting certified. I got to go through a certification. I need your help for my certification. You know, champion the cause of helping, you know, that new client or that person, helping them. You with me? And that's how you could get them started. Okay. And that's, you want to try to do that in the first 30 days. Okay. So I'm gonna, hey, Dave, any other questions? Why don't you ask them?
Yeah. One question I had, then you can, I know you're gonna show some things you're gonna cover at the end here, but one things I was thinking about, you said, like for, let's say you're the new recruit and you're calling me. And so you get your $100 for downloading the app. And then if you get so many people on a webinar or overview webinar, whatever, by the way, guys, I mean, to me with Zoom, I mean, man, all you got to be able to do is open up the screen before you get on Zoom. And then when you hit share screen, whatever you opened up to is going to be shared. And to me, you know, getting like this little presentation down or follow-up interview or whatever that Lloyd's going over, and just to be able to share screen and end sharing the screen. And man, just getting that to where you're doing it over and over and over. But so if you get so many people on the webinar, I think it's 10 or whatever, then you get $100 for that. And then if they do, what's the other one, 15, they get $500 bonus.
Right. So you can just create incentives, but incentivize the activity, okay,
Right.
Not the results. Okay,
Right.
the result, you see what I'm saying? The certification is the results, but the activity that gets you the results, you know, because they may like, well, I can't do 12 closes. Well, okay, no big deal. We understand that, but you got 12 people we could talk to, right? And you get
Right.
X. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you have the activity, and that gets people taking the baby step, you know, just having the activity, because activity, I mean, we all know that's anytime you compress activity, it creates an explosion,
Right.
right? And then good things happen. You take the reason all of you are here. The only reason all of us are here is because someone scheduled an activity appointment with us. And then once we saw it, then we saw it. And I think so many people overcomplicate this. They can't see. You got to walk through the fog as far as you can see, then you can see that much further. We get that new recruit. If you get them in front of 15 people, what the heck's going to happen? There's no telling what's going to happen, right? Anyway.
So let me I want to show a couple of things that you know, that I wanted, okay, that I wrote down years ago that are coming into, you know, my life now, because I had a goal. Okay, I looked at it, I wanted it, right? This is the house we live in Houston. Okay. It might not be nice to you, but it's very nice to us, right? Almost 5,000 square feet, totally remodeled, unbelievable, right? This is the outdoor kitchen that I'm going to build, something similar to this. We about to pour the concrete slab for it. I'm kind of waiting for this lumber cost to go down a little, but you know, I'm looking at doing something similar to this, right? And then another thing, my one of my biggest things that I've always wanted since I was a little kid, okay, is I haven't bought this yet, but this is what I want right here. What turns you on, right? I don't know what turns you on. It might be an F-150, you know. This is a 488 Spider Ferrari. That really gets my juices going. I can wake up in the morning to go get it on. I can think about a goal. I can go talk to 20 people because I want something, you know, I desire to have something, right? But this might not be something for you, but it is something for me, right? And then another thing that we actually just purchased, okay? And I don't show you this to brag. I show you this to say, hey, if you write your goals down and you look at them, you might just get it. You know, my father wanted a place on the water, so where we could fish at and everything. Well, yeah, I mean, he never could afford it, right? Because he might have had opportunities, but he just he wasn't one to take advantage of them. Well, I am. You know, one of my clients took me fishing, and right before the pandemic happened, and then a year later, I said, I want to buy a house on this river, and bam, we just bought this. Okay, about almost a year ago, and we, as a dock out here right now, we spent about $150,000 on the dock. Okay, a lot of people don't even have a $150,000 house, but guess what? Primerica gives the opportunity to do that, right? Okay, for 25 years, I went to Jazz Fest in New Orleans, right? And I walked through this little neighborhood for 25 years. And I said, I'm going to buy a house in this neighborhood. Well, watch this, okay? You see these 4 streets right here, 5 streets? That's the only place I wanted the house. You see right here, this is where one of the best festivals in the world's held, New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival. I'm 4 houses from the front gate on Esplanade side. What do you want? This is what I wanted. We just bought this, you know, but I did it smart. This side pays me $2,300 a month in rent. This side pays me $2,000 a month in rent. So these 2 units pay for my back unit that we're remodeling right now. What do you want?
That's the one, the back unit is the one you're going to give me a key to.
Well, I won't have keys. It's just going to be a code, Dave. You'll have a code.
I'm thinking at you.
But it's going to be like staying at the Ritz-Carlton. It's going to be that nice. I'm telling you. Okay. For 2 weeks out the year, this person is going to have the best place location in New Orleans. Okay. And on my street right here, we have bands on it every night after Jazz Fest. What do you like? I love people. I love having fun, entertaining, you know, having fun, you know, enjoying people, making friends. You know, what do you like? For 25 years, I walked through this neighborhood wanting this place. And then we finally did it, my wife and I. Okay. So, but that wasn't her goal. It was my goal, right? But when you get married, I guess things become goals, right? Together, right? But she likes having the idea of having a place in New Orleans, just like I do, right? But any other questions, Dave?
No, man, I think Lloyd, this has been this has been good, and everybody's I know people are enjoying this. So yeah, this has been great, man. And I appreciate you. Yeah, that's 11:01. So I appreciate you taking the time, but you nailed it, man. Good fundamentals. And Lloyd, what we'll do, we got this recorded, so we will get this out next week, and we'll also send he's going to email me that the not only for the presentation, but also for new recruits, getting them started. So everybody, we'll send that out to all RVPs. So, but anyway, hey, and you know what, guys, that's why that's why you stay plugged in. And when you think you don't need it, well, man, you probably really need it, right? That's when you think, wow, because next thing you know, you plug in, and then you pick something hits you, right? And success leaves clues, right? And so, but anyway, great job, Lloyd. And man, we appreciate you. Got to have any other parting thoughts?
I just encourage people, draw that line in the sand and take a step over it. Okay. Where your old life was on the other side of it, and step over that line into your new life and go design it. But the way you're going to design it is through activity and results. Okay. And because Primerica don't care who you are, they're going to pay you solution number. They don't care if you're black, white, green, orange, yellow, purple, whatever. There's no excuses. All it is activity here, everyone. Okay. The better you get, the better your income will get.
Wow, that's good. Okay, brother. Well, hey, give Danielle a hug, and Lloyd, we love you, man. I appreciate you. And I saw you going to be down at Marco Island. That's good. Hope y'all have a great trip. But anything we do for anybody, man, y'all let us know. And y'all hope you have a great weekend. And God bless.